When I first got my HDB 38 square meter unit, I honestly didn't think much about money because all I really want is to have my very own place. But after having spent living here about 7 years and having gotten myself a stable job, I realized something surprising, and that is this small home can actually help me to save a lot more money and build a stronger financial foundation. I'm not a very rich man and I don't consider myself being very wealthy. But living small have shown me a realistic path towards becoming financially stable and possibly becoming wealthy eventually. So today I want to share how this small 38 square meter lifestyle can help to grow your savings, reduce expenses, and focus on the things that truly matters to you. One of the biggest advantages of living in a small HDB flat is the low cost of living. You see, the space here is small and therefore cleaning the house is easier and maintenance is also minimal. And because it is small, you don't need to buy much furniture, and that means you naturally buy lesser. There are lots of government subsidies for utilities and annual taxes here, and in fact for the past 7 years living here, I have not been required to pay for my electricity, gas and water bills, simply because there is already a huge amount of government subsidies. That alone is a huge saving. And when your basic living expenses are low, it becomes much easier to save a large portion of your income, even if you just earn a small decent amount of 2K per month. But there's one hitch over here, and that is this small 38 square meter or even a slightly bigger 46 square meter HDB BTO flat. It is not something everyone can apply for. That is because there is an income ceiling. For singles like me who are aged 35 years old and above, applying for a 2-room flexi BTO flat, the income ceiling is $7,000 per month. And even during my time about 7 years ago, it's about $5,000 per month. That means if you already earn a high salary from the start, you may not be eligible to apply for this type of BTO flat. But once you successfully apply for this flat and gotten the keys, and if your income have increased above the ceiling, it is still completely okay. You can continue to live in this small flat without any issues. And the next thing I want to talk about is minimalism. Because in a small 38 square meter home or even in a slightly bigger 46 square meter, you don't have space for unnecessary furniture. And that means you don't buy things you don't need. You naturally avoid clutter, and thus that means you spend lesser on home appliances. And that's why this is the very important reason why I have always been emphasizing on minimalism, especially if you have watched all my past videos. If you follow a minimalist mindset, your spending becomes very intentional. And the money that you don't splurge will ultimately become the money you save and ultimately become the money that you can invest in other things. This is one of the biggest hidden advantages of living in a small space. But of course, savings alone don't build wealth. I want to be honest with you that simply by saving money alone will not make you wealthy. For my case here, aside from my full-time job, I also do side hustles. I myself, I'm a certified personal fitness trainer. I offer consultation and advice to people who need help with health and fitness. It may not be a very huge amount for this side hustle, but it adds up and every bit really helps. So you can do your maths over here. Small home means low expenses. And I have myself a stable job that provides stable income, and when I do my side hustles which provide extra income, and plus all this minimalism, it provides more savings. But of course, just having a full-time job and even with a side hustle, I still feel that this is not enough to build long-term wealth. And that's why we should think about investing. Now don't get me wrong, I know nowadays there are a lot of scams and even social media having those get rich programs everywhere, and I myself have also spent about thousands of dollars on an options trading workshop in the past only to end up losing money. So I don't recommend any of those things here, and if you ever see such advertisements, you should be very careful and avoid anything that promises fast or guaranteed returns. What I personally recommend or I personally trust is investing in your own CPF. If you already bought your own BTO flat using your CPF OA account, then I strongly recommend making voluntary housing refunds whenever you can. This simply means putting money back into your OA account to restore whatever you have used for your flat. That's because CPF pays a stable interest rate and it is risk-free because it is backed by the government. This is definitely a slow, steady way to grow your wealth even though you don't get the money right now. But in the long run, your future self will thank you for it. For those of you who don't know that as personal fitness trainers, we always believe and preach this important fact, and that is you can't build wealth without health. You see, when you are healthy, you have more energy, which helps you to become more motivated. And when you become more motivated, you are able to work better. And you are also able to think more clearly. And with clearer thinking, you can also become more creative. And that's why I always believe in investing in health. It can be simple, like eating simple healthy meals. In fact, some of the meals that I have been eating are cooked by myself, which are simple and fast. I commit to my fitness exercises, particularly on basic strengthening exercises, and I also do stretching to improve my flexibility, which helps in my back and knee pain. And most importantly, by resting well, and I also take good care of my mental and spiritual well-being. And thus, the simple analogy can go like this. Good health supports good work. Good work supports good income. Good income supports good wealth. It is all connected. And so you can see there is a very important lesson here about living in a small 38 square meter home. You don't need a big space to build a big life. When your home is simple, you spend lesser, you stress lesser, you don't need to clean so much, and thus you're able to spend more time and focus on your goals. And most importantly, you have more time for hobbies, learning, and side income. So I just have these 4 words to do a description here. Small space, big clarity. So as a closing summary, I am not a rich man and I don't think I'm a very wealthy man yet, but living in a small 38 square meter HDB flat have given me something even more valuable, a realistic path towards building wealth. So if you're living in a small HDB 2-room flat, whether is it the type 1 38 square meter or the slightly bigger type 2 46 square meter home, I hope this video gives you a new perspective. You don't need a big house to build a strong future. Sometimes living small can really help you to grow big. Thank you for watching this video.